What is up, guys? This is Anthony, aka BatBomb82, and today I'll be doing a review of the DC Multiverse Martian Manhunter from the Supergirl television series. Now, taking a look at the front, we can see that the figure is showcased in the new DC Multiverse window box packaging. Turning the box around, we can see an image of the Collect and Connect Clayface figure, and on the left, all the other pieces from this wave. So with the box out of the way, let's crack this figure open and see what we have inside. And here is Martian Manhunter out of the box. And man, this is a pretty decent figure. By no means is it a great figure, but I do like certain things that Mattel has done with it. It does have a few minor problems, and you'll see why I both like it and kinda dislike it. But before we take a closer look at the figure, let's take a look at the accessories. So Martian Manhunter does come with okay amount of accessories. Starting off, he comes with the left arm for the Collect and Connect Clayface figure, a Starospore, and 2 pairs of interchangeable hands. So with the accessories out of the way, let's take a closer look at Martian Manhunter. Alright guys, now let's take a closer look at Martian Manhunter. Now I think off the bat, this is a pretty decent figure. Now I know we've taken a look at the the DC Collectibles version, and which is pretty good. I do like that one for the most part. And this figure honestly has some problems, but it's not terrible. The sculpt actually is really nice. I do dig it. The face sculpt looks a little soft to me, and I think that's kind of more so of the paint, because the paint itself, in my opinion, looks a little muddy. You know, it's not fantastic. It's not a really solid green with great shading and whatnot, but again, it's not too terrible. For the most part, it looks pretty good. I do actually genuinely like this design for Martian Manhunter for the Supergirl TV show. I think it's actually very, very cool. His suit, in my opinion, looks great. I really dig the suit for this. And again, I don't have the DC Collectibles one in my hands right now, but I'm almost positive this is supposed to be more of a dark blue. I could be wrong, but I like this in particular with the black. How they got his straps and that like design across the chest looks really good. Lots of great detailing in there. You can see all the sculpted texturing throughout his chest and whatnot. Even in here, the shoulder pads, that all looks really good too. Nice paint work on this entire piece. I really dig this a lot. Nice gold trim right here on the belt and whatnot. Again, lots of good textures and folds and wrinkles all throughout this figure. I think he looks fantastic. His cape is nice and slim, which is really nice. This actually does pull off. It is a separate piece. So when you're taking it out of the package, it kind of comes in behind the bubble like that, and you kind of just have to put it on. It does have an issue, a little bit of falling out when you're posing it around, because this whole thing is a softer pliable plastic. It will hold on there, so you just kind of stick it in that little slit right there, and it will hold. So if you're not moving around too much, you shouldn't have a problem. But just a heads up, this might fall out on you from time to time. I really, I don't know what it is. The 2 like little dots or little, spheres right here on his chest are such a beautiful metallic gold. It was a little shocking to me when I pulled them out of the packaging. That actually looks like real metal, and it tripped me out for a second. And that's so minor to talk about, but the gold used on those 2 were just gorgeous, and I absolutely loved them. I don't know what it was, but really caught my eye just right out of the box. Again, with that gold against the black, just looked very cool. He does come with a few accessories. We do have some interchangeable hands. He comes with 2 closed-fisted hands and 2 of these more like open palm hands. They're pretty easy to take out. They're on that new peg system, which uses a thicker peg. No hinge. That's a complaint of mine with these new style of hands, interchangeable hands. If Hasbro can do it with Marvel Legends, why can't Mattel do it with DC Multiverse figures, where they still have a hinge system with these interchangeable hands? So that's a little disappointing, but not terrible. So those work out very, very well. We also get this right here. Now again, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure this is a Starospore. If I remember from the show correctly, I could be wrong. Feel free to correct me in the comments. But the fact that we're getting this is like a little alien. Again, I'm pretty sure it's a Starospore. Is very cool. It is a nice, softer, pliable plastic. No bendy wire. Kind of wish it had some bendy wire, but it looks very cool and really nicely painted. You can kind of attach that, so you'd like wrap these upper tentacles around his back like that, and it kind of looks like it's holding onto his chest and whatnot. I think that's pretty cool. The fact that we got that, and it's almost like an extra little pack-in of an extra character. So that's pretty cool. And you can probably pretty much attach that to any of your, DC figures and things like that. So that's very, very cool. His only other accessory is this, the giant turd, which is the other arm for Clayface. Again, we'll be taking a look at that in another video when we take a closer look at Clayface, excuse me. So now with this guy, let's check out the articulation. So I'm gonna actually pull the cape off for this just because I don't want it to fall off. So the head is on a ball joint, does roll around like so, does turn left and right. It's a little tight because you kind of see like that, and it kind of like pops back into a certain position. That's a little weird. I'm not sure what's doing that. I don't know, I have to soften up the plastic or whatnot. It shouldn't be doing that, but it is, so that's a little weird. So it looks up about that much, down about that far, pivots side to side, pretty good. Full 360 with the arms, go up and out about that far. It is hindered a little bit by that shoulder pad. We get a swivel at the bicep, single bend at the elbow, rotation at the wrist. We do get a ab crunch, crunches forward, very nice. Back a little bit. We do get a waist swivel as it rotates left and right. Hip joints that kick forward that much. Back about that far. Can do the splits that much, which is pretty good. It's on those older like T joints from like the DCUC. We got a thigh swivel just above the knee, which looks pretty good. Single bend at the knee, goes just about 90 degrees, and an ankle joint allows you to point the toe up and down, and then no ankle rockers. So the articulation is pretty decent for the most part. I've stated many times on my channel that I'm somewhat of an articulation buff, and this one is pretty good for the most part. I do like this figure. Again, it does have some problems in my opinion. It does have some things that prevent me from really loving this guy, but by no means is he a terrible figure. So if you love this version of Martian Manhunter from the Supergirl TV series, I think this is a very cool figure to get, especially if you want him in the style and the scale of the DC Multiverse and DCUC and things like that. So if you do want this guy, I'd highly suggest him because he is definitely a must-get. So for a quick size comparison, here he is standing next to a Marvel Legends Captain America figure, as well as a DCUC Batman figure. And for your multiverse comparison, here he is standing next to the 4 other figures from this wave that I've already previously reviewed. And just for fun, here he is standing next to little Lego Bat Bomb. So there it is, guys. My review of the DC Multiverse Martian Manhunter from the Supergirl television series. Now overall, I will say that I do like this figure. For the most part, he's got a great sculpt and really clean paint, and I do like his articulation. However, certain things like the face sculpt and the muddiness of that face paint is a little off to me. His cape continuously falls off, and I do wish we had things like ankle articulation and a wrist pivot. But other than that, he is a pretty cool figure, and especially if you love this design from the Supergirl TV series, then I think you would absolutely dig this figure, because in my opinion, he is definitely a must-get. So please comment, like, and subscribe. Stay nerdy, my friends. Peace.